What's up, folks? It's Adam Head here, at the Adam Head on Twitter X. I think Adam T Head on YouTube. Not sure. I'll have to double check that one. Just chilling out in the airport. If you travel through Hartsfield, Atlanta, often, best kept secret. Come out to the International Concourse, Concourse F. Go up to the third floor. There's nobody else around. And you can take those elevators right there all the way back down to the train. You don't have to do the corrals through the escalators. But I got a few questions regarding effortless sobriety on some posts and a few DMs. Just wanted to talk about that. So I consider myself to be effortlessly sober. What does that mean? It means that I don't worry about sobriety. It's just who I am at the state of being now. It's integrated into my identity. I call myself a non drinker. Um, Multiple reasons for that. But basically, I don't really do anything on a day to day basis to maintain sobriety. Now, I maintain my way of life, my identity, all the things that are important to me, my qualities and values. But from a alcohol specific standpoint, I don't do anything. I don't go to meetings. I don't talk to sponsors. There's no prayer or meditation directly for staying sober. It's just who I am. And the reason that I'm so staunch about this and such an advocate, or at least I consider myself an advocate, but the reason I put my message out there so much is that when I was first trying to get sober, I was told that this was impossible, much like many of you probably. I was told that this is going to be something you deal with every single day, and you're going to eventually not have to fight every day, but you only get a daily reprieve from not being an alcoholic. That did not sit well with me. Maybe I'm just inherently rebellious by nature, but I firmly believe in self agency, meaning that I control my life. Now, that being said, if you're, uh, if you're on the 12 step bandwagon, you're probably already thinking that some of what I'm saying is blasphemous. Well, that leads me to a few philosophical points. So, the way I see AA as a way to get sober, a way to stop drinking. But I don't believe that alcoholism is something that you have to fight every day. Once you get sober and are clear enough headed from the alcohol, then you can start to actually change who you are. See, the reason that I drank initially was because it was fun. And I became physically dependent on it. My brain does not do well with excessive amounts of cheap dopamine. So the dopamine basically took over, and I was always in search of it. So more alcohol, more dopamine, more dopamine, more alcohol. Eventually, my life couldn't keep up with the side effects of excessive drinking. So, and I don't just mean physically. I mentioned in some past tweets about physical ailments, liver failure, stuff like that, that I've had to go through. But the consequences of being slightly drunk, slightly tipsy, really drunk, really tipsy in public, at my job, with my family, the consequences that come along with that, and then the emotional shutting down of how alcohol made me feel, I couldn't keep up with that anymore. And so, in running from that, and addressing that, I drank more. So it just became a self perpetuating cycle. And I think most anybody can relate to that. That is in the boat of trying to get sober. Um, but I say all that because once you are detox enough and stable enough from sobriety, you can then start to change who you are. And that starts with language. Okay, language is a very interesting topic because it is basically an agreed upon way for us to communicate our experiences. So language is not concretely tied to objective reality. Language is basically a map. It's a way for us to communicate, analyze, relate to our objective reality. Um, so, that being said, when we think in terms of language, and by that I mean the dialogue running in your head, we're already set up for some limitations. Um, just because of how words change over the course of history, their meanings don't mean exactly what they originally meant, and we use them out of context sometimes. So that leads us from our understanding of reality into our beliefs about reality. So we have objective reality, what reality actually is, who we actually are, is not defined by objective reality. Who we actually are is defined by our own subjective beliefs about how we interpret reality. So this gets a little crazy if you're not used to thinking kind of outside the box. But who you believe yourself to be is basically just a large kaleidoscope, an amalgamation of all these different experiences that you've had throughout your life, all the beliefs that were given to you as a child, beliefs that you have inherited from other experiences, beliefs from organizations, religious institutions, beliefs that you picked up in your education. So, all of these beliefs shape how you see the world, how you see reality. And that's what people mean by reality is just a matrix, or reality is a hologram, or reality is an illusion. How you perceive reality is unique to every single person. That doesn't mean that we're all seeing a different color of blue in the sky. What that means is we all see reality based on how we believe reality to be. So, bring this back around to why I didn't get on board with AA. I did use AA to get sober. I give them credit for that. Rehab and AA got me stable. Um, but AA and the 12 steps are limited by the belief that alcoholism is a disease in which you have no control over. Now, that's true and false. Alcoholism is a disease that you have no control over, in the fact that you have no control over how your brain processes dopamine or serotonin or any of the other neurotransmitters, GABA, acetylcholine, all that fun stuff. You can't influence that. I mean, I guess maybe you can with some pharmaceuticals, but that's beyond me. Um, from a thought perspective and how you think about reality and believe yourself to be, you can absolutely change how you are as far as an alcoholic. So we can't change the dopamine system. So I'm not saying that effortless sobriety means I can go back and go drink. What it means is once I get to a state of stability, I can change my beliefs about how I see the world so that I'm just sober. It's a hard concept to wrap your head around, but eventually, it gets really easy. So I'm gonna come back to this later. I got to go catch a flight. Headed to Brooklyn for a week to teach an OSHA 30 class. Should be lots of fun. Um, but yeah, if you got questions, hit me up, shoot me a DM, tweet under this. I don't care. I don't really block anybody unless you're just an absolute jackwagon who's hurting other people. So have a great day.